You know, Dostoevsky's novel, The Double, gives us one of the most chilling pictures of a mind coming apart that you'll ever read. It's a story that boils down to one deeply unsettling question.
I mean, really think about that. Someone who looks exactly like you, talks just like you, but they're way more charming, way more confident, more successful. And they start, little by little, just erasing you from your own life. That's the absolute nightmare we're diving into.
So to really get this story, we've got to meet our main character. He's a guy who's completely at war with himself, long before any double ever shows up.
So this is Yakov Petrovich Golyadkin. He's a pretty low-level government clerk in 19th century St. Petersburg. He's not some big hero or a terrible villain. He's just a guy. A painfully ordinary, super anxious guy just trying to make it through the day.
And this is where it all goes off the rails. His quiet, kind of invisible life gets completely shattered when a man, who is his perfect physical copy, just appears out of nowhere. And this new guy starts to systematically steal his job, his reputation, his very self.
So how could something like this possibly happen? Well, to figure that out, we have to go inside Golyadkin's head. Because the real fight here isn't with his double, it's with himself. Dostoevsky just nails his description, calling him a trembling bundle of wounded vanity and desperate longing for recognition. This is a man who is desperate for respect, but is absolutely crippled by the fear of being made fun of. He wants everyone to notice him, but he's terrified of what they'll think when they do. And this creates this huge, massive gap between how he sees himself in his dreams and what his life is actually like. In his head, he's this noble, respected guy, the star of the show. But in reality, he feels like a total failure, constantly mocked and looked down on. He's living in a state of constant mental whiplash.
And here's the most important part. Golyadkin doesn't really have a solid core. His entire sense of who he is, his self-worth, it's all built on what other people think of him. It's like a house of cards. And the second that external approval gets taken away, the whole thing just collapses.
So it's this total psychological breakdown that basically summons the double. See, the double isn't just some random guy. He is a very specific and very personal kind of monster. He's literally born from Golyadkin's broken mind.
In psychology, this is a classic case of what they call the return of the repressed. It's this idea that all the parts of ourselves that we push down, our ambitions, our confidence, our darker side, they don't just disappear. They can bubble up and, in an extreme case like this one, come back to haunt us as a whole other person. And wow, the contrast is just night and day. The double is everything Golyadkin wishes he could be. He's got that supreme confidence, that easy charm, and he is absolutely ruthless. He has no problem stepping on people to get what he wants. He is Golyadkin's shadow self come to life.
And that's the real tragedy here. The double isn't some outside enemy. He is Golyadkin. He's the potential that Golyadkin buried deep inside himself because he was so desperate to be a good man, to be agreeable, to not cause any trouble. He tried so hard to make himself small that he ended up creating a giant.
But here's the thing. Golyadkin isn't just falling apart in a vacuum. He's a product of his world, a rigid, bureaucratic place that has zero room for a real individual.
He's the classic little man character. The ordinary person who gets chewed up and spit out by the massive, unfeeling machine of society. He is the perfect victim for a system that cares way more about conformity than it does about people.
In the world of this novel, who you are as a person is way less important than your official rank. Your whole reputation can be built or destroyed by gossip. Your entire existence is basically proven by paperwork. These are the real identity thieves of his time.
So Golyadkin is trapped in this impossible situation. All he wants is to belong, to fit in. But in his world, the price you have to pay to belong is erasing everything that actually makes you, you.
Now, this might all sound like some dusty 19th century story that has nothing to do with us. But the scary thing is, Golyadkin's nightmare is maybe more relevant today than it has ever been.
Because deep down, I think we all have a little bit of his fear in us. The fear that we could be replaced, and maybe no one would even notice. The fear that we're just not good enough, and a better version is just waiting to take over.
I mean, he is literally the nightmare of imposter syndrome come to life. You know that feeling? That nagging voice that says you're a fraud, that you don't deserve any of your success, and that any minute now someone's going to show up and expose you? That's him.
And let's be real.
We create our own doubles all the time. Think about it. That super professional LinkedIn profile, that perfectly curated, always happy Instagram feed, these are idealized versions of us. They're our modern doppelgangers. And sometimes it feels like we're in a competition with our own creations.
And so, the story leaves us with this final, really chilling question. It's a question that feels like it was written for our own hyper-competitive, image-obsessed world. What's the real cost of putting that perfect version of yourself out there? What happens when the version of you that succeeds is also the version that destroys you?